We spoke recently here about allegations that had recently been made against Admiral Arthur MacDonald. He is the former commander of the Royal Canadian Navy and just recently had been promoted to be the chief of the defense staff, the highest ranked officer in the Canadian Armed Forces. He is at least temporarily stepped aside for an investigation of possible sexual misconduct, according to reporting. I'm not going to say anything more about that because we don't honestly know much more than that. What we do know, though, is that the admiral had taken over from a Canadian Army General Jonathan Vance, and there are allegations against General Vance that have had some reporting done on them. General Vance is now retired. He's out. He's out of the public eye. He's out of public life. There may be fallout of his alleged bad behavior, but it's not going to be a pressing issue for the government anymore, or so I thought. Yesterday, Gary Walburn, who's the former ombudsman for the Canadian Armed Forces, testified that he had made the defense minister aware of the substance of at least one of the allegations against General Vance and had even offered up what he called evidence of this. Reporting has suggested the evidence were email transcripts that would have revealed some of what the general is being accused of. Again, I'm reluctant to get into the nitty-gritty details of this because there's a lot that still needs to be reported. There will be investigations. I'm not in a position to do that. I'm not going to convict anyone on a video. But what is interesting, though, is the broader issue of accountability. The problem with this is that General Vance was the top soldier in the Canadian Armed Forces. Admiral MacDonald, pending kind of a final resolution of whatever his status is going to be, is the senior officer of the Canadian Armed Forces. And Mr. Walburn's testimony yesterday has now implicated the National Defense Minister, Minister Sajjan, in being aware of this without having taken action. The defense minister has said he disagrees with how the remarks are characterized. The prime minister has said he stands by his minister. I have no idea where any of this is going to go or if it's going to go anywhere, but we're seeing a problem here. We all know in the abstract that there can be abuses and that there needs to be, independent accountability mechanisms. This is true in a workplace. It's true in any institution. And it's certainly true of sexual misconduct, but also in a much broader sense as well. But what we're seeing here, as if more evidence was needed, is that all of these problems eventually collide in the same place. You cannot design an accountability mechanism that is so independent from what it is trying to hold accountable that there is not eventually going to be an incentive for people to just push stuff under the rug. If there is going to be real accountability, there need to be people who are actually empowered to hold others accountable and who can do it in a way that they are not motivated to hide the bad news. I don't know what Minister Sajjan knew. I don't know what he could have done, but we have two Canadian senior military officers and now the Minister of Defense who are now being implicated in this. How are we supposed to fix this problem at the top if the guys at the top are incentivized to pretend the problem doesn't exist?